So hello everybody. There I go. I'm back in this original link. Okay. All right. So let's see. Okay. Let's see. All right. So here's what are we going to do. Let's see. Can anybody share their screen, please? That's not like if you did the fork the repository and stuff like that. You don't need to do it.
Okay, I got back on my computer.
Okay, that's exactly 2% talk at once. 1 second. Oh, the host disabled it. Sorry.
Actually, never mind. No.
Okay, you can share your screen. Everybody, somebody just share their screen, please. If you didn't do the fork and the git pod thingy yet. Thank you very much. No, Casser, you already did that. Yep, you like it. Okay.
Sorry.
It's okay. Somebody who didn't do these fork repository thingy yet.
Oh, yeah, the fork. I didn't hear the fork, so I just tried to start a screenshot.
Okay, it's all right. Let's see. Ethan, could you share your screen, please? Pretty sure you didn't do this step, I guess.
Do what?
Share your screen, please. With this link. If I can type it fast enough. Click on this link and share the screen.
I think I did this before.
Did this before? Did you fork this repository?
Yeah, I forked it. Let me just go to mine because I forked it.
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, you did it. So, okay. All right. You can stop sharing with somebody who didn't do this yet. Andrew, could you share your screen, please? Thank you very much. I don't think you did this step yet. Okay. Click on fork. All right. Everybody, you can see after you click on fork, this is your link, right? So what's going to happen is this. What I want you to do is then I want you to go take a look at this link. Don't click on this link, okay? I'm going to send the link in the chat. What I want you to do is replace your GitHub username with your actual GitHub username, okay? Once you finish that, that should open up.
What do you mean by replace your GitHub username as your actual GitHub username?
If you see the link, you will know what I'm talking about. Yep, I think you already did this. Take a look at the link. It is https://github.io/hashtag github.com, your GitHub username /Discord clone. You need to change your GitHub.
This branch is even with Boyuan 12 master, so yeah.
Well, yeah.
I also have it open in a replit for some reason. I'm not sure how I opened it in a replit. It's open in a replit.
In a replit? Well, I'd recommend you to using Gitpod. Not sure what replit actually works, but okay. All right, so today it's just gonna be a work day. You're gonna work on your project. You're gonna ask me if I have any question. All right, since I'm not really gonna talk about anything really excitingly new. All the code that is available on the original source code and the fork and the code that you forked. And then if we wait for Andrew's screen to load, this is a code. All right, this is the code. This another step before you want to run this program is a little bit complicated. What I want you to type is this. Once you open that, I want you to type.
Writing's not that easy.
Well, Grammarly can help. Okay, here we're gonna type pip3 install flask socket IO. Okay, I'm not sure reading what I'm typing. 1 second. Term color markdown. All right, I want you to go and copy the link, the text I sent in the chat, and put it into the terminal. So pip install flask socket IO, all these different stuff. You only need to set up one separately. Then you can type flask run. All right. Now you can go click on open browser. And now here's the project in real action.
Wait, where can you open it in GitHub?
Just click on try again. It won't let me to, why doesn't it let you? There you go. Okay, 1 second. Okay, Andrew, could you go back to the Git pod, please? All right, gonna answer question one by one, okay? So you should be able to see something like port 5000 once you type Flask run. Could you click on that? Then here you have different ways. So like specifically this 5000 port, you can click on open browser to open it up. Okay, Ethan?
Like how do you open, like I'm on the GitHub right now. How do you open it in GitHub?
Okay, all right, still okay. Okay. You can stop sharing now, Andrew. Thank you very much. You can share your screen now, Ethan, please.
All right, let me just share screen.
Okay, so what I want you to do is, did you see a link I sent in the chat? Is gitpod.io/#HTTPS://github.com.
Let me just go to the chat. This one?
Which one? Right. Replace your GitHub username with your actual GitHub username. This is what I mean. Wait, no. No. You didn't copy the gitpod.io part. You need to copy the entire link. There's gitpod.io in front of it. All right, there you go. Now replace your GitHub username with your actual GitHub username. This should also answer your question, Leica. You need to replace your GitHub username with your actual GitHub username. All right, wait to load.
Let me see if it works. It's so slow. I hate when it's so slow.
Yeah, because it's a connect to Docker.
I figured out if you click on like the G, it actually like goes white sometimes.
Right, that's a cool design, isn't it? Maybe.
All right, it's extremely laggy right now.
It's all right.
Mine is not working.
Who is mine?
Kate, I'm here.
Kate? Okay.
1
second. Kate, could you type your issue in the chat, please? So like I have a order. Okay. Did it work now, Ethan?
Yeah, it's working.
Okay. All right. Just type the pip install all this stuff into the chat. Into the terminal, and now it should work. Are you gonna go by one, okay?
Why can't you copy and paste things?
Not sure. That's a little bit weird, actually.
I mean, like
Okay.
actually,
Leica, did it fix your issue or not? Go to your screen, Leica. Okay, could you go back? Did you fork my repository? Did you go to the GitHub tab? Leica, could you? Okay, go back. Go to the GitHub tab. Go to the first tab. Did you click on fork? If you haven't, click on fork on the top right corner, please. All right. Once this page loads, go to the third tab and refresh the page. Now it should work. Refresh. There you go. Yep, Kessler, I know you guys should be chatting privately or somehow. So, yep, host only. All right. Let's see. That'll solve your issue. Rena, so git ignore it's just a way to ignore some file when you commit via Git. All right. Git is a version control software. I'm not sure can get to that. Git attribute is just to configure some settings with Git. Git
Why-
is just a version control.
When there's error, wait, I just opened it up in like a port, and it says port 5500. It's supposed to be port 5000, or is it supposed to be port 5500?
Good share screen should be 5,000.
Yeah, because I have port 5500.
All right, Kate, great to hear your issue resolved. Yes, I know, Rena, that makes minimal sense. Huh, that's weird. Okay, just go ahead, click on open browser. I don't even think you actually run this last file. Go back. Go click on here. Okay, so I'm gonna help you in just a little bit. Click on here. Type Flask run. Do you type that? I don't think you typed that. Did you? Okay. Now click on this open browser. There you go.
Okay.
All right.
What was my
what was
I
your-
forgot. I think it was like one. I forgot.
Okay, yeah, you can let me know what you remember. Sarah, you can also share your screen.
I'm just gonna make a new account because I can't remember again.
Okay.
So I was able to click on fork, but like, I don't know what to do next.
Okay, what you want to do is, I'm gonna send a link in the chat again. Let's see. I want you to guys go ahead, click on this link. Oops. Oops, not. Go ahead, click on this link, please. Alika. I mean, Sarah. Would you go ahead and click on? Okay. What I want you to do now is replace your GitHub username with your actual GitHub username. All right, there you go.
Thank you.
No problem. If you guys encounter any issue in building your project, let me know. Okay. It's the
I've been searching on YouTube for the past this week I was plain old just learning JavaScript because like
JavaScript gonna help. Okay, JavaScript gonna help. What's your project idea?
like
Kick band. You're the most popular one. Okay. Now your JavaScript gonna be really helps. Look, it's not like I'm late, Andrew. Okay, it's not really my fault. I don't control the meeting. Okay. Still, I apologize about everything happened, but I don't control the meeting. I send a meeting says you guys need to join this new meeting because I'm not sure why this old meeting link doesn't work, but it's okay. Now I'll get everything fixed. All right. Yeah, JavaScript gonna help if you want to go ban the feature. That's okay. So let's see. You guys actually maybe has some of the hardest. This may have some of the hardest project ideas ever. Proc file. All right, Rena, you're asking a lot of great questions. Proc file is for deployment. It's for deploy to Heroku because remember that we tried it like live. It's like discord-clone-flask.herokuapp.com. This is how we can host on Heroku. Heroku need to know what kind of this app it is and how to configure it. Okay, that's the proc file for. Hope that makes some sort of sense, which I highly doubt. But let's see. Which folder? You should edit it. Depends on your feature. You don't need to create a certain folder. You need to edit maybe one file like app.py for your feature, or maybe you need to edit a lot of files. There's no certain place where you can write your. There's no certain place where you should write your code. But you can just write your code anywhere you want because this is your own copy. G Unicorn, I can get a picture of Unicorn. G Unicorn is just a way to host it. G Unicorn is just a way to host your Flask web application to the actual internet. Creative names. Yep. G Unicorn. Creative names. Better than my Discord clone. Better than my Discord clone. All right. Let me know if you guys have any kind of issues when creating a project. All right. Because that's pretty much what's today gonna be. I'm just gonna help you guys out. If you guys have any questions. First, do I recommend you read the code first? Let me know if any issues when reading the code. I will explain the code a little bit as well. Since we don't have time to go over all of them. But do let me know if you have any kind of questions, especially on code related, like you don't know what this line of code means. Let me know. So try to understand what like each file and each piece of code means. And then it's going to be a little bit easier to implement your own project. Okay, so the db.sqlite3, the reason you see this little diamond-shaped question mark symbol, that means it's, when you see that, that means usually it's a file that is undecodable, okay? So it's unable to decode in a human language, in plain ASCII or English text, okay? So it has to, so like it cannot, okay. Notice everything we write in Python is just English. Right, English character, but db.sqlite3 is not. It's more like binary stuff, like a direct binary. It cannot be able to decode to English or translate to English, right? Like these binary symbols cannot translate them to English or bytecode or machine code to English. So it's just gonna display the little diamond question mark shape to represent, oh, this character, we cannot interpret it. I don't know what the heck that means. So I'm just gonna write that so you know there's character there, but I don't know how to represent it. All right, don't worry about that. That's not hugely important. This is just how it works. SQL3. I highly recommend you guys to take a look at app.py and templates / what's that? How do you send a message? I'm going to go over the code in 4 minutes so you guys can get like a broad understanding of how different piece of code works.
So I found a Python one. Though I have one question. Where do you put it in the files? Like, do you create a new file to put it in or something like that?
No, you just edit the original files. You can add files if necessary.
Like, where do you put the file? Like, where do you edit, like, in the file? Because, like, this, I don't know where to put this thing.
Okay.
I have no clue how Discord Nitro works.
Okay. I don't know in Discord Nitro either, actually. Never used
I
it.
think it, like, gives you, like, more, like, stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, which file do you put it in?
Okay, so again, you can edit all the files. This is your own copy. Just imagine this is your code.
But
okay?
can you refork it if it doesn't work?
You can't. You can just delete this repository and then refork it. Okay. You could edit all sort of places. For example, if you think this route need an additional parameter to work, add that additional line of code.
Where do you put this, like, the kick feed band? Do you put it in test.py or like
app.py? You need to put it in app.py. So like you need to give maybe the ability to actually kick people for like an admin.
I can't find app.py. So many files.
App.py should be on
I
the
found
root directory.
app.py. Oh my goodness. Oof.
There's a lot of code. I'm gonna go over most of them in just a minute.
Where do I put it in the app.py now?
Put it
Wait, so should I import the I have to go through this code to actually kind of understand it.
Yes, you need to understand it first, then you can see how will it work.
Okay, so I'm just gonna listen to your class, like going over the code, and then
Yeah, I will explain the code in a couple minutes so you can understand how your code works. So MIT lesson is a license, just a way to say the copyright, basically. So MIT lesson is like the most unlimited copyright.
What's the OS? What does OS mean?
Operating system. This is a built-in module in Python.
From Flask, import Flask render template, request URL for redirect sessions. JSONify?
JSONify, return JSON data. JavaScript object notation. You can search on that, JSON.
Why is there always like the bracket thing above the like the % sign and all of that?
What bracket? What bracket?
Like this is like the example. Like why is there so many of these in the code?
Oh, this is what we call Jinja. This is you don't need to worry about that unless you need to change the layout entirely. This is just like template inheritance. Inherit the templates.
There's so many links here.
Right, there's
layout.html.
There's a lot of things.
Or whatever these things are. Whitney Bold. Why is some of this code legit ununderstandable, like alien stuff, like oobly goobly wobble Hindi?
Oh no, don't say that. Please don't remember Kessler. Kessler, didn't hear that part, okay? Create Rome, yes, that's essentially it. Yep, Rena, create Rome.html, that's create Rome. Yes, that's what I attempt to name. That's why I told you guys to name the function as it does. So now you can see how that actually works, right? If I name the function there's no way that you can figure out what a.html is for. All right.
Whitney bold webfront.woff is completely unreadable.
What?
Whitney bold like web font WOFF.
Oh, that's a font. That's a font. Don't worry about that. That's just a font name. Whitney bold.
But if you copy this thing and then you paste it, it just says WOFF.
Okay. Yep, the WOF is a font type. Okay, guys. All right. Let's see. Rena.
Googly
True. Okay. Don't remind Kessler for that, please. All right. So now I will go over the code. So you guys can have an understanding of what they're for. Okay. So we don't have time to go over all of them. So I'm just gonna go over specifically this app.py. All right. Most functions are self-noticeable. All right. Most functions are self-noticeable or self-readable, more like self-explanatory. But some of them are not, frankly. All right. So let's see. All right. So you don't need to worry about this part. Line 24 to line 34. Nobody should change this part. All right. This is for deployment configuration. Sentry is an error tracking tool. Basically, if it have an error in your application, it's gonna send an email to you. You don't need to worry about that.
Wait, that's an email to you?
Yes, send an email if somebody like break your application or your application encounter an error, for example.
Oof.
Okay. So these are some imports. All right. Don't need to worry about this. This is not important. We'll talk about this in just 1 second. Markdown, this is the interest you want to talk about in just a second as well. These two are coming with a deployment. We don't need to worry about that. We'll talk about this. We'll see. We will. Okay. So now let's go to actual routes. All right. Index route, nothing to really to talk about, just render and templates. Search this is what we call a like querying SQL. We didn't talk about this, but this is just a way to search a room. All right. And they're gonna return the data in here, like how we can do it in Jinja. So this is like you can return data here. All right. this is the room with a string room ID here. Recall this is like a wildcard. Basically any route matches this pattern, will be this route. Okay. So let's see. We have two ways we can do it. One is if it's post. If it's post, then it's most likely a private room where you need to send invites. So if you are creating a private room, you need to send explicit invites. You need to invite somebody to join. So in here, it's just get the room information. And then in here, you can see we're checking whether this room is yours. All right, whether this room is yours. And then actually whether this room is private or not. And then in this condition, we're checking whether this room is yours. So now in here, and then in here, what I'm going to do is the user going to type information here. We're going to add like their additional right to like a given user. So that's way they can access your private room. Okay. Otherwise, you would just by get, then we're going to check, okay, if this room is private and you are not getting invited, you are gone. If you do get an invite, then you can join. All right. Otherwise, if this room is completely public, what's going to happen is we're going to insert your data, your user ID to this room ID. All right. And then let's see. So we're just going to update some data here. Don't worry about that. And then here is just a way to broadcast a socket message. All right. This is what we call a socket, like quote unquote function that you can use, and the data come with it. Okay. And then finally, this is where you can return all the informations. Okay. So that's for when you actually join a room or visit a room. That's what happens. So for this broadcast message, what's happening here is what happened is when a user type a message and send it, notice it's not reloading. It doesn't require reload because it's automatically sent to the backend, processed by this broadcast message socket IO function, and then send it back to the front end. All right, send it back to the front end, and then with all this data. So it emit. All right, what emit's going to do is this. Emit is just a way to, again, to emit. It needs two parameters. It needs two arguments, rather. So first, it needs what socket IO function it is. Second, it's your data. All right, second, it's your actual data. So I'm going to ask if you guys have any question at the end. So if you have any question, feel free to type in the chat. I'm not going to really answer any until the end. So now let's take a look. We're going to stop here for just 1 second, and we're going to go back. And then we're going to go to a JavaScript file. All right, we're going to go to a JavaScript file. So if you haven't heard of JavaScript, it's just another programming language, but specifically focused on the front end rather than back end like Python do. I don't know why I'm talking too fast. I kind of want to give you guys time to work on your project. 404 means not found. Let me just wait it to reload. Okay, so in here, the most important one is called message.js. All right, message.js, this is the most important one. All right, so basically, for now, you don't need to worry about any line of code from line 7 to line 69. This is just for timestamp processing, all right? And then UDC to local just means it can just change the time based on what time zone you are in. Okay, so this is what we happen. So this is a way to connect the form, right? And this is a way to prevent default. So the default is when you submit a form, it's going to refresh the page. But we don't want that to happen. So you just say prevent default. We establish a new connection to the socket. And now you can see, you can ignore this. This is not really important. But now you can see, here is what happens is that. So when you click on a button, send a message, Notice we're emitting a socket response, broadcast message. Recall that's in the backend. We also have something called broadcast message here. All right. And then it sends this data, this dictionary data or JSON data as in external arguments. We can accept it right here. Okay. And then in here, we can just say, and then in here, we also have a socket function called show message, just a way to display the message here. So show message, that's what, let's see, that's what I'm calling here. Show message was the actual message that I can work with, except it's sending from the backend to front end this time. All right, backend just the Python code that's we're writing. Front end is the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All right, so show message, just a way to add your message there, add a new, maybe a new like a line, a new text, and it automatically scroll to the bottom if there's a new text. All right, and this is register, log in, log out. This is how you can create a room. Okay, all right, and this is how you can connect, disconnect. What happens? Don't need to worry about that. This is for like more like you can see that on the right hand side, you can see who's in the room, who's not. Like somebody's online, somebody's offline. That's what happens. Don't need to worry about API. DM, this is more for like the private messaging. For private messaging, and we got this at me. This is like a new dashboard version that's been trying out, and we got this delete room. Okay. All right. So that's briefly overview of what's happening with each line of code, and especially this emit. All right, emit. And that's really important because that's how actually can connect. All right. Okay. Yeah, I probably should go slower. Okay. All right. Well, let's see. Does any of you have any question? I'm not sure. Probably go slower. I don't know why I'm so hurry. Does any of you have any question? Okay. All right. So, okay. Yeah, that's my bad. I should explain it slowly first time. Let's see. Rena, is there any particular part you want me to talk about? We're just wanting me to explain the whole thing again. Okay. All right. So what I want you guys to look at. All right, how about this? Let's see, I'm gonna make it a little bit easier for you guys. Sorry about that. I should probably go slower, but I'm afraid that I cannot finish everything because there's too much lines of code. Does any of you have any questions? You can post in the chat so I can answer them. Especially if there's specific code you still don't understand, send them in the chat, please. Let's see. All right. So let me talk about something that you don't need to worry about. Okay, don't need to worry about. You don't need to worry about all of this because nobody's dealing with these. All right, line 259 to line 321, don't need to worry about that. Okay. Actually, don't need to worry about till 235 as well. Okay, don't need to worry about that. That's just for some configuration stuff like that. We're talking about register and login. So now what I want to talk about really is this. So I want to talk about what happened when you submit a form and actually display it. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about. So what I want you to do is go ahead, scroll down to line 126 in app.py and find message.js, which should be in the static folder, and scroll it down to line 86. All right, go to JavaScript message.js, go to line 86. Python file, go to line 126. Okay. This is a really important part, okay? This is a really important part. All right, so what's happening is this, okay? This is just a way to get a timestamp, current timestamp. Don't need to worry about that part, okay? This is just for getting the user ID. Getting the user ID. And this is just to check the data. All right, this is just a way to check the data. All right, check the data, see if data is not empty. And then here what's going to happen is we're interpreting as markdown text. All right, because search what markdown means. It's just similar to HTML, but less functionalities. And then we're going to store this this markdown text into the database along with the author, the current ROM, and the timestamp. Save it to the database. All right. So far, so good. Anybody have any questions so far? Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, you guys are kind of not talking, so I'm a little bit afraid I lost you guys again. Okay. Then the final line is arguably the most important line. We have this what we call emit show message. All right, show message. This is just a Java. This is basically a way that you are letting the front end know. Okay. All right. Let's see. Right. See, here is the exploding part. Right. Here's the exploding part. But I'm just gonna try to keep explaining it. So we're gonna use this emit, so the backend can respond to front end real time. Okay. So the function name is gonna be called show message, and here's the data gonna return. Here's the data gonna return. Okay, so we got message is the markdown message, timestamp is the timestamp, name is the user, ROM ID is the ROM ID. Now, let's go to message.js and take a look at line 86. This is basically what happens is that. So socket.emit broadcast message, just a way to send the message from front end to the back end. Front end to the back end. Okay. Notice also send the data as well, so like current message into ROM ID. And then we'll also say show message. So it's from back end to the front end again. All right, show message. So we create a new span tag, and then we add some HTML file in. All right, HTML in. Notice we have this data as a parameter sent back. So the data is essentially what we sent back as in the Python. Append this, scroll it down to the message. So that's how like entire socket system works, at least in this case. That's how like entire socket system works. All right. Okay. Let me know if you guys have any questions. If no, you guys can work on your project. If you have any particular question related to your project, also let me know so I can help you more individually. If you need any help, feel free to email me using this email address. Email me if you need any explicit help. I can jump on to help you. This project's due on next Sunday. Everybody has to present their project. All right. Does anybody have any question? Was the code or anything else?
Are we emailing you?
If you can email me if you have any questions or
Okay,
you need
can we
any
go?
help.
Could we go?
No, you still need to stay here and work on your project. Okay, students, just stay here and work on your projects. What do you mean by where do you start, Rena? 1 second, Rena, let's see. Rena, what's your project idea again? Clear chat, right? Okay, so here what you need to think about. Clear chat, you don't need to edit anything in app.py unless you want to do that on the database as well. All right, unless you want to do it on the database as well. So what you need to do is if you just want to clear the chat on the user side, what you can do is you can modify some JavaScript in a way that if a user click a button, all the chat gonna disappear. All right, all the chat gonna disappear. Maybe you could just delete all these spam elements. All right, you can take a look how to do that. A little bit more complicated version is if you click clear chat, chat on the database is going to be deleted and it's going to be reflected to everybody's HTML, which you're going to need to use socket. Okay, so you're going to take a look on message.js specifically. All right. Also, again, if you guys need a detailed walkthrough, the reason is I cannot, I actually record this. You don't know JavaScript. Good question. Okay, let's see. All right, this is gonna be. Let's see. Okay, JavaScript, that's going to be a little bit challenging then. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. 1 second. Let's see. Rena, you don't know JavaScript? Yeah, I kind of misplanned the class. I should probably cover JavaScript a little bit early, but I don't know. Python takes us pretty much the entire class because that's what Python name as well. Course name. Let's see. How about this? JavaScript is fairly simple. Okay, JavaScript is fairly simple. What I want you to do is I want you to take a look at this guide. For those who need JavaScript, save this link, bookmark this link. This is a guide to the JavaScript. Take a little read through them to have pretty much everything you need to know with the JavaScript. If you have any particular question, you can just Google it online or email me. All right. How would you add a bot? It depends what you, okay. So bot's gonna be a pretty broad topic. All right. So you need to know what do you want the bot to do? All right. Do you want the user to be able to create their own bots, their own functionality, where you want to create some pre-built bots that user can just add? Okay, you need to decide that first. A mute bot. Okay. A mute bot. Unfortunately, I don't think we do the mute bot because people already work on the mute thing now. But whatever idea you have, you can try to think about it. So let's see. Let's see. So mute bot, you could do that. You could actually you could try that. So maybe you can see if they can have an option to add this mute bot, and once they add it, they can have that mute feature or something. Now I can do that. Maybe you could edit some of the HTML files so you can add a bot. I know this is pretty challenging for you guys, because this is like the first time that's you are on your own to create one of your own feature, add it to somebody else's code space. That's you haven't pretty much seen before. This is pretty much challenging, but I believe you guys can make it. All right, I believe you guys. I believe you guys. All right. Just try your best. Okay, let's see. Triple. Okay, so slow-mo, let me give, okay, Sarah, so here we can start. So where do you start is once you understand the code, you need to think about, okay, what do I need to change? Like divide your feature down. For example, slow-mo, you can think about like this way. Let's see. So first of all, you need to have a timer of some sort, right? Timer of some sort, right? To keep track, you also need to keep track of user, like when did the user previously send a message. You could do that both in the Python and the JavaScript. You can just maybe create a timer in JavaScript and take a look how to do that. Just to anonymously keep track of how long since the user had been sent a message. And then you can check is if user try to send a message before the slow-mo time hasn't arrived. So you can say, you can display an error message that you cannot send a message. Something like that. So that's where you can start. You can start by creating a timer in JavaScript. See how can you count time down. Okay, clear chat. So what you need to do is you probably can add a new function, new JavaScript function, not just delete everything on the container, on the like whatever what we actually keep track of this. So like delete all the message. Take a look, see if you can some. Okay, so what you need to do is you need to create a new JavaScript function that can delete all the HTML elements as a message. All right, you need to create your own JavaScript function. All right, that can delete HTML element. That's our message. Okay, and that's what you need to do. There's no particular where. There's no particular where. You can add it practically anywhere you want, as long as it's not within a function and it's in the window.unload. But beside that, it should work. You can add it wherever you want. That function doesn't need to be any like particular place. The hardest part is you need to within the window.unload. Yes. The hardest part is to figure out how to remove all these HTML elements as a message. Take a look, see if you can figure that out. All right. All right, thank you for asking these questions. Does anybody else have any question? Does anybody has any question? All right, so do you guys all think you guys can finish it before next Sunday? That's maybe a little bit challenging. That may be a little bit challenging, but you guys like a week to do that. You can feel free to email me if any further questions so I can hop into a Zoom session with you. And you can take advantage. You can sure take advantage of that if you prefer. All right. Anybody have any questions? Window.unload, unload. And that should be the first line of the JavaScript file, Rena. Should be the first line of message.js. Let's see, let's extend to line 188. 1 second, let me take a look. Yes, I believe it does extend to line 188. Yes, you're correct. All right. Let me know if you guys have any further questions. How does your project look and work is completely on your jurisdiction. But as long as it's presentable so you can demonstrate, it's all right. Okay. All right. So again, for now, you guys can just work on your project. And let me know if you have any other questions or issues that you want me to help you with. Whether just some overall code issues or your own individual projects issue. You guys can also use some third-party tools, for example, Stripe for payments, etc. If you want to take a look how to use that. Stripe going to be pretty helpful to you, Kessler, because you're working on Nitro payment. What do you mean by what are we supposed to do with Java?
What are we supposed to do in the projects with Java?
Did we talk about Java?
Yeah. JavaScript.
Oh, okay. Java and JavaScript are two completely different things. What we're gonna supposed to do is Java. It depends on your features. I don't think you really need to work with JavaScript that much. You can take a look at Stripe. It's basically have. It depends on each individual feature. See if you need to modify any JavaScripts in order to make your feature. Okay, does that help? Hopefully that does.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. Do you guys think you can finish this project by next Sunday?
I'm sort of busy, so maybe no.
Maybe
Yeah.
not. Well, you have to.
Maybe not.
That's like a hard deadline.
I don't
Because
think, but maybe.
Okay, hopefully you guys can because you guys have to present. Once you're finished or not, just have something done, okay? So you can present. Doesn't have to be complete because I know 1 week gonna be a little bit too short for you guys, but just to work on this like sometime each day, see if you can finish it. If you need any help, just let me know. All right, this is like your final big homework, okay? And we might also have like a short competition of which project is everybody's favorite or something. That's maybe interesting. But yeah. Alan, okay. Okay, we'll talk about that on next Sunday. I will talk about that by next Sunday. All right, it's okay. We all have like this shy moment, but this can get your practice in case like your school wants you to do some like public speaking. But it's a good practice for you as well. It's okay. I mean, we'll talk about that by next Sunday, more in detail. Just be sure you can finish it, first of all. Oh, okay. Well, I think I just made a mistake. Okay. We'll talk about that more, I guess. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. We'll talk about that a little bit more. My apologies. I mean, because eventually I have to call you anyway on Sunday, but I mean, sorry about that, but just try to finish your project first. There shouldn't it. I don't think there should be anything going to a parenthesis because going to a parenthesis just means a parameter. I don't think parameter is necessary for your clear chat function. It's more. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't think that's really necessary, needed. So you don't have to put anything in between. Yep, nothing goes there. Nothing goes there. Yes. All right, so I guess I'll go ahead and let you guys go early today. If you don't have any questions, feel free to leave. Be sure to finish it by next Sunday because that's when you will present. Everybody has to present. That's kind of like the rule, but we'll see. If you have no more questions, you guys can leave. Be sure to finish by next Sunday. But yeah, see you guys next week. Have a great Thanksgiving. We don't have Thanksgiving break because next week will like the final week. So just gonna get over this. All right. Bye. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, Kaiser.
Bye.
Bye. All right. Bye, everybody. See you guys next Sunday. Be sure to finish it.